Hi, I'm Lauren Mitchell. It's been 2 years since I lost my husband, David, in a terrible car accident. Some days, it feels like just yesterday I got that heartbreaking call, but I've managed to rebuild my life, mostly for my kids, Emma and Lucas. They're my everything. Emma is now 8 and becoming a talented little artist, and Lucas, who is 6, is our little scientist. Mom, can we have pizza for dinner? Emma calls from the living room as I finish a work call about our new pharmaceutical line. Just give me 5 minutes, sweetie, I'm wrapping up, I answer, trying to stay professional, despite the noise in the background. Being a pharmaceutical sales rep is hard, especially as a single mom, but it pays the bills and keeps us comfortable. Plus, my company is very understanding of my situation. They know about my anxiety and depression, and they support me with my therapy sessions and occasional mental health days. Mrs. Mitchell, your presentation last week was excellent. The board wants you to lead the new product launch, my supervisor says over the phone. Thank you, I'd be honored, I reply, feeling a familiar tightness in my chest. Public speaking makes my anxiety worse, but I've learned how to handle it: deep breaths, medication if needed, and techniques from my therapist. Lucas, please don't jump on the couch, I hear Maria, our nanny, call out. She's been a big help, especially since David's mom passed away 6 months ago. Since then, his sister Rebecca has been coming around more often. She lives in a fancy house with her husband, James, who's an investment banker. Lauren, you look exhausted. Why don't I take the kids for the weekend? Rebecca offered last Sunday, reaching for Emma's backpack. Thanks, Becca, but maybe next time. We've got our weekend routine down now, I said, noticing her slight frown. Rebecca and James have been trying to have kids for years without success. Sometimes, I catch Rebecca looking at Emma and Lucas with a longing look, which makes me uncomfortable, but she's been helpful, especially on days when I need some time to myself. You know, David would be proud of how you're handling everything, Rebecca said to me yesterday while we were making dinner. There was something in her tone that felt off, but I ignored it. I've learned to recognize my triggers and manage them before they turn into full-blown panic attacks. Sometimes I need 10 minutes alone in my room to calm down, but I always come back stronger. The kids understand. We call it Mommy's quiet time. Mom, when is Aunt Rebecca coming again? Lucas asked at breakfast this morning. She promised to bring her new puppy next time. Soon, buddy, I answered, ignoring the nagging feeling that something wasn't right. Living with anxiety and depression while raising 2 kids isn't easy, but we've found a routine. My medicine cabinet is organized, my therapy appointments are scheduled, and my support system, though small, is strong, or so I thought. Lauren, I brought lunch. I know you have that big presentation today. Rebecca's voice interrupts my conference call, making me jump. I'm in the middle of something important, I managed to say, trying to stay calm while reviewing my slides. Oh, remember how David always helped you prepare for these presentations? He was so good at calming your nerves. My hands start shaking when she mentions David. The PowerPoint slides blur in front of me as memories flood back: his car, the rain, the police at my door. I need a minute, I whisper, heading to the bathroom. Behind me, I hear Rebecca's voice, sweet and concerned, talking to Emma. Does Mommy often need to take breaks like this, sweetheart? I splash cold water on my face, trying to calm myself. I can hear Maria's worried voice from the other side of the door. Mrs. Rebecca, maybe we should give her some space. I'm just worried about my niece and nephew, Rebecca says. Tell me, Maria, how often does Lauren have these episodes? Later that week, during my therapy session, there's another surprise visit. I brought the kids home early from school. Emma wasn't feeling well. You know I have therapy on Thursdays, I say, feeling annoyed. Oh dear, you seem quite agitated. Kids, maybe you should go upstairs while Mommy calms down, Rebecca tells them. The next morning at breakfast, Lucas looks at me with concern. Mom, Aunt Rebecca says you're sick. Are you going to go away like Daddy? I freeze, my coffee cup halfway to my lips. Who told you I'm sick? I ask, trying to stay calm. Aunt Rebecca said that's why you take medicine and need quiet time, Lucas replies. My phone buzzes. It's another text from Rebecca. The kids seemed upset this morning. I can take them for the weekend if you need space. During my weekly grocery run, I run into James at the store. Rebecca's been so worried about you and the kids. She barely sleeps thinking about your situation, your struggles. She mentioned the panic attacks are getting worse. I haven't had a panic attack in months. That evening, I overhear Maria on the phone in the kitchen. Yes, Mrs. Rebecca. She needed 15 minutes alone after a work call. No, the children were with me. Yes, I'll keep track. My stomach drops. I clear my throat loudly, and Maria nearly drops the phone. I have to go, she stammers. The final straw comes during Emma's art class when Rebecca shows up uninvited again. I brought some old photos of David. Emma, do you want to see Daddy? Rebecca says, and my chest tightens as Emma runs over excitedly. Rebecca pulls out her phone, seemingly to show pictures, but I notice the red recording light blinking. Remember this vacation? Your daddy was so happy. Lauren, you were having one of your bad days then, weren't you? Rebecca says. The room starts spinning. I hear Emma's voice, distant and confused. Mommy, are you okay? Just give her space, sweetie. This happens when Mommy gets overwhelmed. Good thing Aunt Rebecca is here, she replies. Through the fog of my anxiety, I notice that Rebecca's phone is still recording, carefully positioned to capture my reaction. That night, after the kids are asleep, I find a notebook that must have fallen from Rebecca's purse. It's filled with dates, times, and detailed notes about every moment I've needed space, every medication I've taken, and every episode she's witnessed, or even caused. The last entry sends a chill down my spine. Lawyer meeting tomorrow to discuss emergency custody options. Have enough evidence now. Emergency custody hearing. Case number 4729 Mitchell vs. Mitchell Gardner. The words on the page echo in my mind. The next day in court, I sit nervously, clutching my purse while Rebecca's lawyer presents their case. My heart stops when they start playing videos, moments I didn't even know were recorded. As you can see, Your Honor, Miss Mitchell frequently becomes incapacitated during these episodes, Rebecca's lawyer says, pointing to the screen. The children are left unsupervised while their mother locks herself away. They show a video of me rushing to my room during one of Rebecca's surprise visits. The video is edited to remove Rebecca's provocative comments about David's accident. These incidents occur 3 to 4 times a week, the lawyer continues. Maria testifies, avoiding my eyes. Sometimes she's in there for 30 minutes while the children need attention, Maria says. And who cares for the children during these episodes? The lawyer asks. Usually me, or Mrs. Rebecca when she's there. She's always ready to help, Maria answers. My lawyer stands up. Your Honor, we'd like to call Dr. Sarah Chen. Dr. Chen takes the stand. Her calm presence is a stark contrast to the chaos around me. In my professional opinion, Lauren Mitchell's anxiety is well managed through medication and therapy. These alleged episodes don't align with my observations over the past 2 years, Dr. Chen says. Rebecca's lawyer quickly responds. But you see the videos, doctor, how do you explain those? What I see are recordings of panic attacks that appear to be triggered by external factors, Dr. Chen explains. Notice how many occur when Mrs. Gardner is present. The judge leans forward. Elaborate, doctor. These videos show classic signs of psychological manipulation, Dr. Chen says. Manipulation, the timing, frequency, and escalation of symptoms all coincide with Mrs. Gardner's increased presence in the home, Dr. Chen explains. Rebecca suddenly stands up, furious. That's ridiculous. I've only tried to help Mrs. Gardner. Please sit down, the judge warns her. My lawyer presents my phone records. Your Honor, notice these texts from Mrs. Gardner. They always arrive just before the recorded incidents. Mom, why is Aunt Rebecca showing everyone videos of you being sick? Emma's whispered question breaks my heart. The judge looks over Dr. Chen's treatment records. These show consistent improvement until 6 months ago. What changed then? That's when their mother-in-law passed away, my lawyer explains. That's when Mrs. Gardner started spending more time with the family. Rebecca's lawyer interrupts. My client's only concern is the children's welfare. Is that why your client offered to pay the nanny for information? My lawyer counters. Maria shifts uncomfortably in her seat. Miss Ramirez, would you like to revise your testimony? The judge asks. Mrs. Gardner asked me to text her whenever Lauren needed alone time, Maria admits, her voice trembling. She paid me extra to keep track and sometimes exaggerate how long these breaks were. The courtroom murmurs in shock. Rebecca's face turns pale. I have text messages, Maria continues, pulling out her phone. She told me what to say. Rebecca's lawyer starts to protest, but the judge holds up his hand. I've seen enough, the judge says. This court takes a very dim view of manipulated evidence and witness tampering. I'm dismissing this custody petition immediately. I hear Rebecca's sharp intake of breath as the judge continues. Furthermore, I'm ordering an investigation into Mrs. Gardner's actions. You may have opened yourself up to serious legal consequences. Through my tears, I see James slip out of the courtroom, leaving Rebecca alone at her table. The children will remain with their mother, and I'm issuing a temporary restraining order against Mrs. Gardner pending investigation, the judge says. As we leave the courtroom, Emma squeezes my hand. Can we go home now, Mommy? Yes, baby, we're going home. At the school pickup line, I overhear whispers. Did you hear about Rebecca Gardner? 3 other families have come forward. The news of the custody hearing spreads quickly through our community. Mrs. Mitchell, I'm Jennifer Walsh. A woman approaches me. Rebecca tried the same thing with my family 2 years ago. She befriended me after my husband's death and then tried to prove I was an unfit mother. I was too scared to fight back then. The district attorney's office receives a flood of evidence. Another mother, Sarah Collins, shares security footage of Rebecca planting prescription bottles in her home during a dinner party. The investigation reveals a disturbing pattern. At Rebecca's arraignment, the DA announces, Mrs. Gardner systematically targeted vulnerable families, particularly widowed mothers. James files for divorce the same week. I see him at the courthouse. Lauren, I had no idea. I'm so sorry, he says. She told me you were having breakdowns and that the kids weren't safe. I should have questioned it. Rebecca's social circles turn their backs on her. Her country club membership is revoked, and her charity board positions disappear. Mommy, why are people saying mean things about Aunt Rebecca at school? Lucas asks during dinner. Sometimes, people we trust aren't who they seem to be, sweetie, but we're safe now. Maria testifies at Rebecca's criminal trial. She gave me this burner phone to report on Mrs. Mitchell. She said she'd pay my son's college tuition if I helped her get the kids. The verdict comes quickly, guilty on all counts, harassment, witness tampering, and fraud. The judge doesn't hold back. 5 years with no possibility of parole, restraining orders for all affected families. We move across town to a cozy house with a big backyard. Emma decorates her room with butterflies, while Lucas claims the treehouse is the best part of the yard. Mom, I can see the whole neighborhood from up here, Lucas shouts from his new perch. Dr. Chin visits us for a final session. You've shown remarkable strength. Lauren, how are you feeling? Lighter, like I can breathe again, I say. The kids are happier too. The doorbell rings. It's Jennifer and Sarah with their kids. We're having a barbecue. Thought you might want to join our single mom support group, Jennifer says. Emma runs off to play with their children, while Lucas shows them his treehouse. You know, Jennifer says, watching our kids laugh together, Rebecca thought she could break us. Instead, she brought us together. I look around at my new home, my happy children, and the strong women who've become true friends. She wanted to destroy us, Sarah adds, but we're stronger than ever. The sound of children's laughter fills the backyard, drowning out the last echoes of Rebecca's toxic presence in our lives. What would you do if you discovered someone close to you was secretly documenting your vulnerable moments to use against you? Have you ever experienced betrayal from someone who pretended to help you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you want more real survival stories like mine, don't forget to like and subscribe.